Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I woke up and I felt inspired to do a review of the new Saie Slip cover. This is a tinted moisturizer and they sent this to me in PR and I totally wasn't expecting it. They just had my address on file. So this was a really nice surprise to get. I figured we would just do a review and demo. I have been testing it out for 2 weeks already, so this isn't a first impressions, it's a full review. And yeah, let's jump in. Okay, so the Saie Slip cover is basically just supposed to be like a skin tinted moisturizer, but it has 15% zinc oxide as sunscreen. I already have sunscreen on. I would never use a cosmetically tinted product as my main source of sunscreen, but teach their own. Do whatever you want to do. They sent me the shades 3 and 4. 4 is much too dark for me, so we're just going to go with shade 3. And as for the ingredients, the website says it has sweet pea and hyaluronic acid for moisture. It has licorice for brightening, and it has argan oil for the dewiest vibes. I'm excited to share this product with you because of a couple different things. One is that I just really enjoy very sheer base products. I don't like to wear heavy foundation. I don't like anything full coverage unless it's just like a little bit of a spot concealer. So let's just go ahead and get started. Oh, in the shade range. That's why I'm also excited about it. So there are only 9 shades, and I know in 2020 we want to see more. However, Saie is the first company I've personally seen to release a skin tint where all 9 shades are evenly distributed from light to dark. That made me very happy. It doesn't, when you look at the shade range, it doesn't look like they're prioritizing the light ones. It's not like 5 light shades, a medium and a dark. It really does look evenly distributed. And I reached out to a few of my friends who are Black beauty content creators on Instagram, and they all confirmed that when looking at shade ranges, they kind of felt like seeing that it's evenly distributed is the most important thing to them. After that, we want to see as many shades as possible. We want to see different undertones. We want to make sure that the companies are using models of all different colors and sizes and everything like that. So I actually think that Saie did a pretty good job, but obviously let me know in the comments. And let's get started. So this is the shade 3, and I'm just gonna apply, how do I show this? Boop, boop, 2 pumps. That's pretty much all I would really do. And you can probably tell it's a bit too yellow for my skin tone. I do much prefer a base product that has more maybe pink or neutral undertones, but I'm sure you can see it's so sheer that it's really not an issue that the undertone is off. I would say that the actual shade is spot on. I certainly don't need anything darker or anything lighter. And so if you don't think that you can find your undertone, it's probably not an issue because this is so sheer. And I think they recommend rubbing it in with your fingers. And that's just what I do with all of my tinted moisturizers anyways. Now that that's done, I'm adding 1 more pump, and I'm doing that on my neck. Just move myself into the light so you can see it a little bit better. I think before I put the Saie Slip cover on, my skin was pretty much like a satin matte from the sunscreen I was wearing. And now you can see the dew is coming through, but to me it doesn't look too oily, I don't think, but I will probably blot and then powder throughout the day, and I don't find that it gets too oily or too wet looking. I will do a comparison on my hand of other like CC cream, tinted moisturizer products that I have, and I'll just compare everything, but to me, this is actually really nice, and I'll just go ahead and show you the shades compared to each other. If you are around my skin tone, I would say 3 is probably going to be your best bet because there is quite a jump between these shades I've noticed. They only have 9, but they are quite sheer. So this is the shade 3 that I'm wearing. You can see it's pretty great match for my skin, and my hands are lighter than my face, so it looks kind of darker on my hand, but on my face it's a great match. You can see those yellow undertones coming through too, but on my face it's so sheer it doesn't matter. You can see that there's a massive difference with shade 4, so I feel like if I'm on vacation and I'm accidentally getting some sun exposure, I could probably mix in 4 a little bit with 3, but I really think 3 is such a great match for me. And I don't think that people are going to have that hard of a time finding a great match because these are quite sheer. Now, I have heard from a bunch of my friends in the beauty community that they were expecting this to have almost no coverage, because to them, a tint should really not have any coverage. It should just add a little bit of a wash of color. So to me, this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of coverage I want in a base. It just evens everything out. It doesn't add too much coverage. You know, it just kind of adds a little something, something. But a bunch of my friends have said this had more coverage than they were expecting. So if you want a truly sheer product, maybe this isn't for you. But for me, I would say this is light coverage, and it's exactly what I reach for. That's it for right now. I'm gonna go put on a full face of makeup, and then we'll do check-ins throughout the day. Hi. So I filmed this entire video and forgot to do a comparison of all of my other tinted sunscreens. So let's just do that now. I have every single one that I own on my arm. Don't worry, I will do close-ups of all of these so you can see the textures and the colors up close. But I just wanted to talk about the differences because that's the most important part. So in order on my arm, first up, we have the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue in the shade Natural. I would say out of all of the tinted sunscreens, this is my favorite texture to apply. It's also the only one that's not zinc oxide based. And because of that, it has a much more lightweight, gel-like, moussey texture that's just a total dream to apply. It's just a little too dewy for me. So when I compare the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue to the Saie Slip cover, the Saie Slip cover in 3 is much lighter than the shade Natural, and the shade 4 is much closer to it, but shade 4 from the Saie Slip cover is definitely a little bit darker than Bare Minerals Natural. Now for the slip cover, this also, as you can see on my arm, has quite a dewy finish, but for some reason it just doesn't look as dewy as the Bare Minerals. So you guys have already seen Saie Slip cover in 3 and 4, and moving right along, we have these products. These are the Saie Tinted Moisturizing Lotion. They're water resistant. They're also 13% zinc oxide compared to the Saie Beauty 15% oxide. So you're getting a little bit less sunscreen protection. But again, I don't rely on my makeup to provide my sun protection, so I don't really care. But if we're just looking at the colors alone, you can see these are the two Saie ones. The one on the bottom here is Sand, which is obviously significantly too dark for me, but I do find that this shade Ivory is a little bit too light. So I do like to mix the two Saie tinted moisturizing lotions I have. However, I will say out of all of these products, Saie has the worst shade range. They only have 4 shades, which is unfortunate because I don't find these to be very sheer. I do find that the Supergoop is one of the best shade matches for me. I have 3 different shades. I bought 3 Supergoop CC cream shades because I didn't know what would be the best ones. They're these 3 here. So you have Fair Light, Light, and then Light Medium. The Supergoop and the Saie have that kind of thicker zinc oxide, dewy, full coverage texture, whereas the Saie Slip cover does have that zinc oxide base, but somehow it's a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter. It is still dewy, but not quite as dewy, and it has like a light buildable coverage. And then you've got the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, which is a moussey kind of water gel-like texture that's pretty dewy and the most sheer of the bunch. So I hope you found that helpful. Let's keep going. So I just did a full face of makeup, and we are gonna get up close and personal. We're gonna show it in different lighting. Before you ask, Rowan 1111 is on my eyes, and I'm wearing the Fit Glow Lip Serum in Gospel. So let's move on in. I like that you can see my freckles coming through. So it is definitely a sheer product. You can see I have these kind of broken capillaries here that I just never cover because who cares? Skin looks like skin, you know? But it did totally even out my skin. I would say the only complaint I have right now is that it's like 97 degrees in here right now, and I'm very sweaty, and I can see that the dew is very much coming through, but that is very normal for me with my skin type. Whenever I put on makeup, I just inevitably have much more oilier skin than if I were just wearing skincare. If I just had skincare on, my skin stays like satin all day. But whatever it is with makeup, I just end up having like a reaction where my oils come through. So it's a little bit dewier than I prefer on a day-to-day basis, but I think that's just because I'm sweating super, super hard right now. But other than that, I think it looks really beautiful. Hey, so I'm in the kitchen. I've had the Saie Slip cover on for about 5+ hours now. I think it looks really nice. It's a lot cooler out now, so it's the oils aren't coming through as much. I think I was just like really hot earlier. I haven't blotted, I haven't powdered my face, and I think it looks really nice. So I'm probably not going to do another check-in just because it's going to get dark and I don't want to set up my lights. I think you can have a pretty good understanding of like what it looks like. So in the meantime, here's my dog. Oh, Thumper, do you want to say hi? Hi, sweet boy. There we go. Well, good boy. His name is Thumper.